Doubles competitions on this championship Saturday will be played best 3 of 5. So we change formats and challenge these players in a new way once they make it to the doubles finals.
Point.
You have to be consistent for 3 games.
1-0-2.
So the first point to McGuffin and Long. Yesterday we saw Dekel Barr and Collin Johns play their soft game really well. They have great hand speed, but that was on full display.
And look at Brendon Long just coming out here flicking winners from the kitchen line. Really nicely done there. He's going to see a lot of action.
Point.
Our bronze medalists for men's pro doubles, Riley Newman and James Ignatowicz.
1-1-2.
James, the traditional partner of Tyson McGuffin. And there could be multiple competitions still in store for James Ignatowicz and Tyson McGuffin.
Without question.
1-1-1.
There was a lot of conversation jokingly about dropping yesterday, but
It was just for this one.
we just want to clarify a bit.
Absolutely, and that's a ball that Dekel usually makes. He takes that drop away and just tried inside out instead of just really pounding it. And the defensive prowess of McGuffin makes you try and be a little too fine sometimes.
Second serve.
Brendon is smiling because he knows he had plenty of space to work with.
Yeah, that's one of those things where that's now going to be in the Collin Johns database. If he goes two-handed backhand, he's going to want to bring that down the line.
Wonder what kind of processor that Collin Johns has got, as you see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that considered a Burt there? Would you give that to him, or just like an extended poach?
Yeah, that's more of a poach. You know, he didn't actually ever jump diagonally, so I'm not giving him the Burt. But I am giving Brendon Long another winner down the middle. And is this guy nervous on his first final? Absolutely not.
4-1-2. Point.
Missed return.
Timeout receiving team.
That's an additional and a timeout called by Collin Johns and Dekel Barr. So Brendon Long, you mentioned it, not playing with a ton of nerves, at least showing up here currently with a 4-point advantage.
Well, as commentators, we love outstanding returns, and we've seen those today. And it turns out so does Vent. It's an investment platform working to provide returns through alternative assets. They make it possible for investors big and small to diversify their portfolio with fine wine and rare spirits. That's right, SEC qualified offerings that you can add to your investment portfolio. Learn more at vent.co.
Time in. 5-1-2.
Let's see if Collin Johns and Dekel Barr can find their return. Covering the middle, 6'3", Dekel Barr.
Yeah, and that's what Collin Johns' doubles championship day points usually look like. Him fending off, setting the ball up, and having his brother typically take the middle. That's Dekel Barr's job today.
Second serve.
And Brendon Long is absolutely on fire here
1-5-2.
in the start of this match.
He gets away with one right there.
Side out.
Yeah, a little pop-up on the fourth. You either want to put pressure with that or concede the kitchen, not just lay it into an open place, especially with that long arm of Dekel Barr. You mentioned his height. He's got long reach to go with it.
Point.
And Dekel, if you look even now, about 3 feet beyond the kitchen line. That's not normal.
Yeah, no, he's backing off a little bit in these cross-court dink rallies, and Brendon Long is taking advantage. And the returns, we talked about how important those are. A couple of misses from CJ, a couple left short, which have also been pounded, so they got to get that fixed.
The return, the first priority on the docket. A massive swing from Tyson McGuffin cross court. It's rare that Collin Johns doesn't find a reset.
Yeah, and Tyson is going to be in Brendon Long's personal space all day, getting him fired up.
Second serve.
Nearly a third winner.
Clean. I mean, you want to think, is he confident at all? My goodness, he's going for this now?
No. Right toe was on when you hit. Right toe was on right when you hit. Yep.
Right toe of Dekel Bar.
Yeah.
Foot fault.
Yep.
Kitchen line violation.
Point.
Yep, boy, right there. Great call, great alarm clock scream from our head referee, Don Stanley there. All over it.
Onisha Smith, our second. Quick hands for Brendon Long. He's going head-to-head with Collin Johns.
10-1-2. Point game.
Amazing. The 6th seed and their first competition together. Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long take game 1, and they take it 11-1 over Dekel Bar and Collin Johns.
What do you think about that?
11-1. Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long taking the first game in the men's pro doubles final at the Selkirk Red Rock Open. Cameron Irwin alongside Dave Fleming. And maybe after this first serve, walk me back through how they got it done.
They got it done by being the aggressors like they were there. They were the ones hitting down. Long just made a mistake there. And what's up with 11-1 in game 1s here today, Cameron? Women's singles 11-1. Here we are 11-1 again.
And again, as a reminder, the doubles competition will be played best 3 of 5.
2-0-2. Side out.
Yeah, and the 3 out of 5 makes you feel a lot more comfortable with getting run over in game number 1 because you've got time to come back. It's not like we got to win 2 in a row and figure this out quickly. You still need to figure this out, but there isn't that same urgency that a best 2 out of 3 brings to the table.
This game is so rhythmic, right? And I think it's interesting. You go from multiple days where you're playing competition after competition, match after match, to a final where it's just 1 and you're done. Or in the case of Tyson, potentially 2.
Absolutely, and there's Tyson again. He was shoving Brendon Long the other day, chest bumps. I mean, this is a duo that looks incredibly comfortable, like they've been playing years together.
Point.
Another missed return from Johns.
2-2-2.
Collin Johns with a little bit of force on that, off the miss hit, right off the toe of the paddle. Looping that back in within the baseline. Dekel bar.
Yeah, you saw several middle dinks on that particular rally, so we'll see if
3,
that
2, 1.
continues here as a way to change things up. New partnership, make them figure out the middle.
Point.
Brendon long. Goes long.
Timeout receiving team, 4-2-1.
You mentioned the middle dink, now 4-2. And a timeout called, and we got all sorts of things happening in St. George. Dave, I don't know what that is, but I mean, come on now.
I mean, Utah is bringing it. They've got the pickleball heads, they've got the paint on their bodies. It's arts and crafts and lots of fun in Utah.
A lead now for Collin Johns and Dekel Bar. Men's pro doubles final. It's 4-2. They found a little rhythm into game 2.
Boy, and they've had some good look at the same balls in game 1 when they're 11-1. Just missed a couple attacks when they were well ahead in points. And you've got the veterans who nothing is going to phase them. They don't care that they lost 11-1. A lot of pickleball left, and you're seeing it here from Collin and Dekel.
One of the first speed ups we've seen from Dekel Bar in terms of a volley taken out of the air on the backhand side.
Yeah, really hugging that kitchen line now and reaching in.
Second serve.
Such a smart play by Brendon Long. People love to drop to that backhand side, but if you've got the athleticism and more importantly the read, you can take that away with an Ernie.
Popped up and put away for Brendon Long. It's interesting to watch the court position of Tyson McGuffin. He is squeezing middle.
2-6-1.
They are, there's this image that you're supposed to be right in the middle of your half of the court. Well, folks, that couldn't be more wrong. And as this match progresses, watch how close Tyson and Brendon get to each other. And that's the position they desire.
Side out.
I like that contact from Dekel Bar, just changing that paddle face right on contact.
6-2-1.
Oh.
Quick fist from Dekel Bar, the counter.
Yes, and then he was frozen for a moment like a statue just to make sure everybody saw it.
7-2-1.
Back to the baseline.
It's rare that a counter goes untouched. Collin choosing the right time to bring some pace.
Timeout receiving team.
Yeah, and the reason that prior counter is because they're putting the ball in the same place. We talked about this yesterday, Cameron. Collin and Ben really know where the ball is going to go off each other's paddle, and that just makes you so much more dangerous. Collin and Dekel today in game 2 have said, we're going to funnel that ball into the middle. We see how close together they are standing. How are they going to deal with that? And if I go there, then Dekel knows I just got to sit middle with that paddle, and that's why he is able to hit a clean counter. So really nice recovery and a complete flip of the momentum here in game 2.
A complete flip in the momentum. Booyah, baby. We got the pickleball head back out on championship court. Let's talk a little road 2. For McGuffin and Long, the semifinals, they actually had to face off against Newman and Ignatowicz, which you've mentioned. That went only 2 games played, 11-9, 13-11. I think a lot of people when you look at those draws, 2 versus 6, would have thought Newman and Ignatowicz, with the rise of Ignatowicz and the play of Riley Newman, it would have gone their direction, but that wasn't the case.
No, Riley Newman came into this tournament with Andrea Koop and James Ignatowicz, 2 new partners, and everybody thought, ooh, man, that guy, we're going to see him twice on Saturday. He's not here at all, and it's because of the great play that has happened on the other side of the court, and also trying to figure out the new partnership thing. Some do it very well. You're seeing it on this court. Some struggle.
He just couldn't get out of the way. Nice job by our viewing deck as their hands were tested.
Yeah, you got to have good hands everywhere on the court here, Cam, including the fans. And this is back to sort of John's style pickleball. Drop the ball, get to the kitchen line, dink your way to a ball that you like. Don't let them have things they want. And you're going to have to pull the trigger like that to get the ball back. That's a great ball from Brendon Long there. But the pace of play and the point construction has been very good for Barr and Johns here in game 2.
Trying to look for the Ernie off the Ernie. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Would have
been really fun if he made it, that's for sure. And that is why they have not been returning to Tyson McGuffin, because you create all sorts of problems, especially when you are trying to unwind or get to the other side of the court, because they only want to play one particular side, and that's how you fix it. Dekel taking that first ball.
That was a Collin John style ATP, slowing it down.
And then just such a casual defense of this. Look at this. Yep, just hanging out in the park on a Saturday.
3-2. Set up.
A third drop gone wide.
Yeah, we talk about serve a lot. Watch Dekel Ball really go, step into it, and go after it. And gets the result that he wants.
One of the biggest serves in the game. Elevates, high contact point, right near the hip.
Second serve.
Collin's looking at the ball because he hasn't missed a dink since he was 18 years old in his mind.
So a hold for McGuffin and Long. They trail by 7, but it still feels like they have some sort of rhythm on their side, momentum, especially late in game 2.
Second serve.
And the missed dinks keep coming, but now on the side of McGuffin and Long.
There you see McGuffin, great partner, great positivity for his partner, wants to keep that same Brendon Long spirit going. McGuffin, another one with a big serve, went for a little too much there. Another shot at tying this thing up right here.
They almost did it with defense. I like the fight here from Long and McGuffin. Dekel Ball again looking to close out game number 2, and even the score at 1 apiece.
Point game.
with a backhand slice. Dekel Bar cuts that ball through the air. 11-3 in game number 2.
Yeah, just a really impressive, hey, we're fine. Let's get back into the slower game and then find where we're at. So, who's going to have the answer in game 3? Both sides have one in their pocket. We'll find out after this.
Game apiece in this best 3 out of 5. You know what that means? Between anyone out there, please scoot in.
Knotted at 1 apiece through the first 2 games of the men's pro doubles final. Collin Johns, Dekel Bar facing off against Brendon Long and Tyson McGuffin for the Selkirk Red Rock Open. Game number 2 looked like it was in steady control for those two, the boys in white. We talked about the road 2 for Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long, but on the other side for Bar and Johns, they faced off against AJ Kohler and Travis Rettenmeyer in a matchup that went to 3 games, 11-7, 7-11, 11-6. And Kohler and Rettenmeyer are kind of a scary duo because not only is there creativity, but there's some power for them as well.
There's a lot of great hands. There's a lot of chaos that AJ creates. Rettenmeyer's got the big forehand that was on point yesterday. But much like in that match, we are seeing it today. There is no panic, and they don't wildly change what they think can help them win. Yeah, Brendon Long played brilliantly. Can he keep that up? If we just stay to the game plan, maybe he can, and maybe we can dictate. And we saw the team in white take care of that, and now they're going to just, you know, they're not going to change. They're going to keep returning the ball to Brendon Long. They're going to keep the cross-court dinks with Bar and Long, and then they're going to feed the ball into the middle, and it is working.
Ducking down, Collin Johns. Again, well prepped for the speed up.
Yeah, and he is so good at that scorpion move, which is when you bring the paddle up in front of your body to protect it like that scorpion sting, and he stung Brendon Long there. That's impressive.
Missed return 2-0. At least 2 games still to be played in this final.
He called out point.
And we do have replay. We haven't needed it yet, luckily. So
and by replay of video challenge, that's what you referred to.
Yes.
That's the ball that was called out of bounds, but not being contested here.
Point.
Continuing to try and find that backhand drop of Dekel Bar.
yeah, they're just, this is the game plan. We're not changing. We think we can win in this formation, and Long has had a couple errors creep into his game here.
You saw the shift from Collin Johns and Dekel Bar, but I don't know if there was a shift big enough for that overhead.
No, that's a great recognition by Dekel Bar. He saw a ball that was going to be trouble, so he had to get out of there and retreated so he can be in a much better defensive position. That's smart, but just too much power from Brendon Long and too much power from Brendon Long again right there, but in a bad way.
Who do you think has the fastest serve on the Carvana
I think it's
PPA
that
Tour?
one we just saw there from Dekel. Tyson's has a little more jump to it with the swing path that he follows, but Dekel, as far as just pure pace, I would give it to him.
0-5-1.
Not doing too much. I love that shot from Dekel Bar.
Yeah, and he's all over the kitchen line, winning that cross-court dink and making Long try and be a little too fine, and if he isn't, he's there with that reach.
Crossing patterns. for McGuffin and Long.
You don't usually see a switch at a ball at the kitchen line there, but it worked out, and you know that's something for them to just put in the back of their mind if this score continues in that way, that maybe that's a way we'd like to try and play, but we're a long way from that.
He's looking for the opening through the middle after the cross-court dinks with Barr.
Yeah, and we saw Barr, and you called it so well, Cameron. Just the right pace on the shot. The very same ball that Dekel Barr did, a little too much on that one from Brendon Long, and a little too much on that serve. But that's part of Dekel Barr. He knows he's going to miss a few serves, but he gets misses and short returns. It's worth it.
Catching the shoulder of Barr.
Yeah, and that's trying to do too much. You know, Collin is not in any trouble here whatsoever, so no reason to take that ball, and paid the price himself. Sometimes when you take the wrong ball, you get your partner hit. At least that time he got himself hit. But trouble getting to the kitchen here for McGuffin and Long over the last game and a half.
I do like the change in pattern, though. You see Brendon Long going a little bit more line to line with Collin Johns, which feels like it's allowing Tyson McGuffin to get more involved.
Get a couple more balls, but this is Johns Brothers Pickleball with Dekel Barr playing the role of Ben Johns, and they're doing it perfectly.
It's been a few times now on that backhand side for Brendon Long.
So came out hot, was comfortable, yelling, fist pumping, and now he's going to have to consistently make that ball, and it might be getting into his head, and these boys are going to keep funneling it there.
Game 3 looking in favor of Collin Johns and Dekel Barr playing a steady style of pickleball. But he's not the only Johns that's showing up on this championship Saturday.
Yeah, no, yesterday Ben Johns was watching Brendon Long and was like, hey, I love to see B Long doing big things. He tweeted out there. Now, against his brother, probably a different rooting interest here today for Ben, who is taking this one off. This was the first tournament ever in pickleball that we'd had the double-triple with Ben and Anna Lee Waters winning all 3 of the medals, so we'll have no defending champions today.
Two.
7-1. Again, Collin Johns ranked the #1 men's doubles player in the world because, well, he spends a little more time on the court just in terms of now being there with Dekel Barr.
Exactly. Yeah.
People always ask that. They're like, well, how'd that happen?
And this is no joke amount of points, especially if they win this match.
Collin Johns and Ben Johns have won every tournament that they have played in 2023.
Collin's trying to keep that undefeated streak going.
Second serve.
Yeah, so the Brendon Long pressure and level has come down a bit, and there, what's happened, especially in the backhand dinks, is he's either put it in the neck and then overcorrected, and Dekel Barr has been reaching in and taking that ball out of the air and hitting winners.
That's a good sign for Brendon Long, who earns one in the cross-court rally.
Yeah, and a miss like that will give him confidence. Like, look, I can win this. He did in game number 1, he was terrific.
And that's the second time that exact same scenario has worked in the favor of the 6th seed.
Yeah, and that's a great way with the movement and quickness that McGuffin possesses. Get yourself involved in this a little bit.
They try to keep him honest there and go to the forehand side, but he's well prepared.
Yeah, and off a great return to be able to get a drop and crash out of that is impressive. Big smiles from McGuffin when that flow is looking fantastic in Utah here today.
McGuffin out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The Great Pacific Northwest. Still trains out of Idaho.
8-4-1.
Oftentimes has several pros coming to him in terms of training sessions.
Yeah, that's also the home state of Selkirk, named after the Selkirk Mountains out there in the Idaho/Washington area, Washington State.
8-4-2.
He's been with Selkirk for about 8 years now. One of the most tenured in pickleball. Whoa, that thing had flames on it.
After a very lovely touch on the lob, Dekel goes full
9-4-2.
rope, an inch inside the baseline, Cameron. Wow.
9-4.
Point.
So good is correct. Dekel bar, wow.
Timeout
His
receiving
reads
team,
on those
10-4-2.
and execution, just enough touch.
Yeah, that's perfect. He's putting enough pace, but he's going down with the ball too, so that thing is not coming back. And this duo who met in tennis are looking fantastic in pickleball.
So if you want to learn a little bit more about the great game of pickleball from these top tier pros, let's take a look at a top court tutorial. Jesse Irvin and Pat Smith giving you an education
10-4-2.
from the baseline. Game point. Taking a little pace off. And a side out for Long and McGuffin.
And here's the side switch, Cameron. So McGuffin will be on the left.
This is the time to try it. Great to see Tyson McGuffin back at the top of his game. Been dealing with some injuries as of the last few weeks and months.
5-10-1.
There's the poach of Brendon Long.
Yeah, so you have to change your return patterns, and Collin John just had a little conversation with Dekel, and I'm sure it's about we're returning to Brendon.
Brendon off the bounce.
So here we go. So you feel so good when you make a side switch as a team and things start working. You're like, look, we're so smart. Look at what we did. Now they got to see if they can finish it.
Uh-oh! Add one more.
And that isn't going to sit well with Collin because, again, the return went to McGuffin, and that is not where they want it. And now they're going to call timeout and think about it. So had a match, or excuse me, a game point, didn't get it done, and now suddenly the crowd is all McGuffined up here. Look out.
They're fluffed up. They're McGuffined up. Right now it's 8-10, and one of the hard elements is as much as you want to return that ball to Brendon Long, you have Tyson McGuffin serving at you, who you mentioned does have a tough serve.
Yep. Yeah, so it's, again, getting your footwork set. Where has he been serving so I can get that and not allow this drive and crash, the shake and bake that we talk about. because Brendon Long is very good at finding that, and then he is not giving them any chance. He is finishing that volley each and every time.
Well, it's also challenging to be able to poach from that right side because it's going to be that backhanded poach more often than not. I know they found it a couple times. They tried to find Tyson in that same regard when it was flipped on the forehand side as he was creeping over. But it's a little bit of a different look in terms of the poach. Brendon Long doing a nice job with that. Trusting his partner, getting all the way to the kitchen line on that quick shot.
Yeah, so you'll see McGuffin go after the serve here, and Collin Johns is going to be doing everything in his power to get it to the right side of the box and as far to the sideline as he can.
Second serve.
Oh, man. That was a shallow return.
With a lot of opportunity there for Brendon Long, but they did make Long hit it.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's a two-handed forehand. We saw this from Collin Johns again. He puts the other hand on the paddle and swats that down. Game number 3 to Dekel and Collin Johns. They are one step closer to picking up a gold in St. George.
Yeah, nice rally with the new court positioning from McGuffin and Long, but a little too late with that. We'll see if they come back with it. That'll be very interesting here, Cameron.
11-8 in game number 3. Don't. To game number 4 we go. Collin Johns and Dekel Barr just one game away from a gold medal at the Selkirk Red Rock Open, the 7th stop on the Carvana PPA Tour in 2023. Collin Johns and Dekel Barr, I mean, if they can get this done, that's screaming volumes for Collin in a new partnership.
Yeah, so I think we have an interesting situation here. You can do this. They're changing sides to start the game. You can do that, your new first server. So on the far side of the court, you will see Brendon Long starting game number 4 here on the left side, or on the right side, excuse me.
So they're going to start with that switch, like you mentioned. And that ball is gone.
Yeah, there's just not enough room to track that down. You know, we talk about it a lot. Man, all these overheads come back. They don't in tennis. Much harder to put it away, so you have to find a nice angle. McGuffin did there.
Second serve.
And Brendon Long's looking for a hole in his paddle.
Yeah,
Donuts being served.
It's like his partner's got a paddle with a opening in it, but his certainly doesn't.
Having some problems with the Tyson McGuffin third.
Yeah, Barr continues to return it cross court to McGuffin, and he is absolutely blistering it.
Questions as to the call on both sides.
No. See it?
Wait, so
So
I think they're calling the lob from Collin Johns out
yes,
here.
and the call, Dawn was asking Onisha, our second official, whether the call was made that it was out of bounds. She confirmed that yes, the call had been made by Tyson and Brendon.
Yeah, because he can't wait until
Exactly.
he sees that his shot missed to go, oh, wait, no, that other one was out. So here's a big start for this team in new positions, getting it going. And Dekel Barr's having a conversation about that.
Tyson's working on his overhead serve.
And the crowd is roaring because off camera, Tyson's playing the ball into the crowd. Dekel is questioning the very thing we were discussing right now with Don Stanley, which is, hey, he played the ball. How are we still going to that next shot? And that's why that clarification was necessary.
We're getting Idaho chants now into our stands. I thought we were in Utah.
Time in.
Close enough, but that's still not that close. These are big states back here if you're working on your states of the United States puzzle.
Ooh. Looking to go inside out. Tyson McGuffin just missing.
0-3-1.
And that's the second time we've seen Dekel with a fantastic counter.
Yeah, this time it's off Brendon Long's paddle right in front of him earlier in the day.
1-3-1.
Brendon Long had to come over to the middle to hit that particular shot, and Barr's been up for the task.
Second serve.
And no one feels a net cord heavier than Collin Johns. The life just leaves his body. There's no muscles in his arms.
He goes full Gumby.
Yes, he does.
And the middle dink getting utilized again, even with the switch.
Yeah, and that's what they want. Let them figure it out, especially now. They haven't played like this much at all throughout the tournament. So new partners in new positions. See if they can figure it out.
Nice reset by Long.
That's as good at men's doubles point as you will ever see. The resets, the attacks, and then a clean winner, ATP, and then the paddle goes for a ride in the Utah air. My goodness, McGuffin is, there we go. Again, we talked about it yesterday. You sign up to play with him, full contact pickleball.
You need body armor to play with him.
Dude, those hockey pads that AJ Kohler has, he should share those out with whoever the partner is for the week.
4-1-2.
What a read again. Tyson McGuffin coming alive.
Yeah, so if Dekel Barr is seeing all this happen down the middle, he just needs to get beat on the outside shoulder, not to his right. Just stick the paddle and be more center facing with his positioning. Beautiful from Barr right there. Closing down the middle.
Side out now, Dekel Barr. Down by 4. And was it just a half step late?
Yes. Yeah, the read is perfect, but it came after, and then the paddle's behind you, and the ball height is too low to pull that off. Oh my.
The tweener defense. You
He makes the tweener and then leaves a 1 mile-an-hour dink in the net. That's the 1 point you want to win, because then it's going to be everywhere.
Oh, and those tweeners, too, are some of my favorite. Usually you see them after somebody's chasing to the baseline, back to the net, through the back of the legs. But that one, facing the net from the transition zone, that's just filthy. And we go full Gumby again.
Yes. You can't believe it. Just flailing away, no skeleture to his body whatsoever.
I will say it's brutal when that happens. I mean, it just is deflating. I don't blame you, Collin.
Especially when you have a perfect read on the ball that's coming. Yeah. You're ready to pound it, and then it goes off the tape and jumps over your paddle and stays in. He feels vindicated that the next third was missed. The other thing I want you guys to watch is the positioning of Don Stanley, our referee. We can show the full court view here coming up. He gets really low, checking that paddle contact point on the serve. And that may have been the conversation that Dekel had earlier too, about how the serves are being struck by the other side. Who knows?
Second serve.
As much as there's been conversation about paddle technology, there's also been plenty of conversation about legal versus illegal serves.
No doubt about it. You got to strike it below the wrist, or excuse me, below the waist with the wrist down. The paddle position down below that, and we have a challenge here, Cameron, on that serve.
Well, and I believe just a challenge, though, on the in-out call of that serve.
Correct.
You'll know that in the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and of course here in our...
Again, Don Stanley, our lead official, second referee, Onisha Smith, Wendy Rass, our tracking referee, and our video referee, Charlotte Jorgensen.
The ball will be reviewed in the truck and called into our referee. The call on the court is that the ball was out. The serve was out.
The call on the court, as a reminder, was out of bounds. Dekel and Collin thinking this ball is inbound. So again, we are in the midst of a video challenge. I wonder what Booyah thinks. In or out?
I mean, he would know. He is a ball, technically.
So again, taking a look at our video challenge, the Utah fans, standing room only on the edges of championship court. Everyone piled in. There's a good look as people are trying to get as tall as they can to see over the top of the fence.
Yeah, this would not be good for little 5'8" me. I would not even be peering over to have to get on somebody's shoulders like that little youngster right there.
I'm sorry, Dave, but I'm not putting you on my shoulders.
And I am certainly not asking, although then I'd be able to be seen.
After review, the out call stands. The team is charged one timeout. The challenge is lost. The timeout is lost. We'll resume play at 1-7-2. One timeout, two timeouts.
Don Stanley has confirmed that the call stands. Ball out of bounds. Just a slight shift to the right side gets Brendon Long out of the way.
Yeah, and I like what Dekel saw there, but didn't execute a little too big a swing from there. And boy, this side switch is working well for McGuffin and Long. such a big man and so agile, too. I mean, look at him take a ball that is coming not to the edge of the court, but the middle, and jump through there and earning it perfectly.
Hey, 1-2. Sun out. One 8-1.
And that ball also lands out of bounds.
So that's the difference, the patience. And you, I believe, talked about the controlled aggression that you need, and you want your T-shirts to be printed up, Cameron. You got to pull the trigger at the right times, and that's a couple of misses here from Dekel Bar. Tough to come back. There's a much better choice there out of the air.
Two 8-2.
And a little change in pace on the speed up. Those timings for counters, so tough.
Yeah, if you don't have a good read on it, even though your paddle's there, it is not positioned to be able to handle it. And Collin Johns with another missed return, and we might be playing 5 here, Cam.
9-2-1.
Good reminder, as Dekel and Collin won game number 3, so they are up in terms of the total game score, 2-1. And one more for McGuffin and Long.
10-2-2.
Game point. A great location on the 4th from Dekel Bar.
A really good handle of that ball. So big hole to climb out of, but it's been done before.
There's the first step.
Yeah, so we'll see if they continue to do that. Drop to the McGuffin backhand and let Dekel Bar just go hunt the next one. So 2 smart things from McGuffin there. Number 1, return to Dekel Bar, keep him the heck off the kitchen line. And then secondly, step back and pound that forehand instead of trying to reach in and take it out of the air.
No.
Is that out?
Yes.
10-3, plenty of room to work for Long and McGuffin. Two unbelievable saves from Brendon Long. He gets pushed wide, and Dekel Bar smartly finds the middle.
Yeah, even though you don't get it on the angle, you get at least your opponent a bit out of position.
Game number 4 to McGuffin and Long. We are going the distance for the men's pro doubles final. Game 5, 11 points to be played to determine our gold medalist. The highlights are aplenty, especially in Game 4 for McGuffin and Long. Flowing and vibing, the paddle has been tossed more times than not for Long and McGuffin. Game 5 after this. The last time Dekel Bar won a title was back in 2021 with Ben Johns right here in the Red Rocks. Now he's partnered up alongside Collin Johns. So can he find another title in the Red Rocks? Standing in front of him, Brendon Long and Tyson McGuffin. Tyson McGuffin has not found a men's doubles title since May 20th of 2021 at the Atlanta, Georgia Open. And for Brendon Long, this is his first final ever on the Carvana PPA Tour. So much at stake for these four players here in St. George, Utah. Game 5 now. How might this shake out, Dave?
Well, I think Collin and Dekel have to find the patterns of where do we make Brendon Long uncomfortable. They did a great job in games 2 and 3 on the backhand. So now that he's over on the forehand side, let's see how well he forehand dinks. And if you leave it up, he's going to clobber it like he did there.
And I am amiss because Dekel Bar did, in fact, earn one more title alongside Adam Stone in 2021 at the PPA Championships. Got to give Adam some time. You know he won't toot his own horn.
He will not. Yeah, and you mentioned that victory for Barr and Stone, and that was the only one without
0-0-1.
Riley Newman and Ben Johns in the winner's circle forever until 2023. And here we could have two brand new people as well. So us calling Adam's name could be in the rear view for a long time here, unfortunately, for the podcast and broadcast and retired pickleball pro.
You saw the change of sides in game number 4 for Brendon Long and Tyson McGuffin. Now the change of attire. We're in the green, Collin Johns and Dekel Bar for game 5.
It is the Masters weekend, so well done, boys. We didn't review the color palette to talk about shades of green, however, Cameron.
1-0-1.
And Dekel Bar loves to find the combination, the backhand to backhand combination, sliding to the middle, and that creates space.
And that is a great job by Brendon Long of fading himself and having the paddle ready and just countering it into the open court, and does it again as Dekel Bar runs him out of position. Sometimes players try to do too much when they have this much court, but again, that's a problem for Bar. Just get back to that game 2 and game 3 when you didn't have to try to do too much.
Still feeling like there's some space, but I don't know if that had been opened yet.
Yeah, that's a long arm of the Bar right there.
0-1-2.
0-1, second serve. And again, they're finding success on the backside of Dekel Bar.
Yeah, he is overcommitting to try and help, and I understand that, but if the return is that short, he is really in no man's land standing at the kitchen.
So the emphasis back on the third shot of Brendon Long. 1 apiece, we play to 11. Must win by 2. Change of ends at 6. Ernie from the long arm of Bar.
So there's a great read by Dekel. So again, they did so well in games 2 and 3 when they dinked their way to a great ball, and that is what happened there. Again, McGuffin letting a higher arcing third come to the apex and then pounding it. Great choice from McGuffin.
Oh, Oh, and they got away with one. Just a slight hesitancy in the middle. Conversation now between these two.
Yes, and you know that's what you want to do. Collin is mixing up the dinks to the forehand, then coming back middle, and did get a pop up there. Barr just couldn't finish it.
Second serve.
And now as Barr sits with the right foot on the center line, he's going to be put on alert, closing down the backside.
Yeah, McGuffin did not want that one to be that high. That was a much easier ball than he wanted Barr to have. So Barr had a ball that was going to hit 100 miles an hour and be a clean winner, and they got a second look at it, but Long couldn't put it in the court.
Oh, that nearly spun back in. So stuck still, 2-1.
You don't want the seat behind Booyah there.
Makes a terrible window. Great door.
And that just slides wide. So 2 quick service opportunities lost for Barr and Johns.
1-2-1.
He finds the sideline. 2-all.
So if you are going to take the middle of the court, you can't put the ball back to the side where you're not covering, because you're leaving that wide open, and Brendon Long takes advantage again.
Second serve.
A little bit of a low take for Tyson.
2-2-2. Sign up.
Tyson McGuffin also looking to do something for the first time in his career. He would need to pick up the title here to be able to get the first piece of it, which is to win 2 golds in the same day.
There's the grinded out points that they want, and then Dekel Barr gets a ball where he's attacked, and he's sitting forehand middle. Beautiful finish from him.
The third overhead into the top of the net.
Yeah, and the sun is at their back, so that's not a sun issue on this swing. Just trying to find a little too much angle from that deep in the court.
And right now, all the Dean Crowleys going to Johns and Barr. 5-2, a timeout taken even before the change of ends. So the Dean Crowleys working in favor of the #1 seed, Collin Johns and Dekel Barr. So often when things are going wrong, the strategy is patience and grinding out points, and that's come to fruition in game number 5.
Yeah, and you wonder why the guy's undefeated this year. You don't panic. You stay with what you do well. Yeah, they're going to hit some great balls, and yes, the sexy points are the ones where they're running around and shoving each other and fist pumping, and guess what? You get the same amount on the scoreboard for a missed dink. So they're going to stay in it. I think Collin's going to just really want Dekel to stay in that zone. He's gotten himself a little out of position. And the scoreboard, you felt like, man, I feel like Dekel's been beaten backside a lot. Like the score would be maybe the reverse of this. That has happened when they're serving, so it hasn't hurt them on the scoreboard. And now it's just stay in the dink. You know McGuffin wants one more crazy point where he can get this Utah crowd rallied back behind them.
5-2-1.
And again, the counter ability of Dekel Bar.
What a great job of using a defensive lob to give them a chance to get back in it. And Collin threw that to the heavens there, and it came down, and they were able to get up. And the veteran Savvy in green is up in game number 5.
The Selkirk Red Rock Open Championship Saturday from Little Valley Pickleball Complex in St. George, Utah. We are in game number 5 of the men's doubles final. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside senior pro Dave Fleming, the voice of pickleball. Collin Johns and Dekel Bar are looking really steady in game number 5 as they look to pick up gold against Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long.
Second serve.
So a second serve now for Bar and Johns. 6-2.
6-2-2.
So if there is a time, it is now, Dave.
Wow, the switch up 6-2 on a 1 and missed 2/3 drops. They weren't even drives that were missed there in the net. Shocking. They're really happy to get a piece of candy to put away here. First chance at an Easter basket. I like that solid bunny more than the hollow one.
I was supposed to get you peeps. I forgot. Dekel Bar all the way on the right side, dictating terms.
And now we're hearing him match the McGuffin yell.
6-2-1.
Look at that, and then the roar.
Drop the paddle, Tyson. That ball's out of bounds.
Here. 6-2-2. Point.
What a lead.
I mean, that is such a good lead because that swing path looks like it's going to go
7-2-2.
well out, but it just misses.
Point.
And another missed return, so 8-2 now. And you have to call a timeout here.
Yeah.
Down by 6. The Selkirk paddle at the Selkirk Red Rock Open hits the court. Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long need to make moves. It's game 5 of the men's doubles final. Dekel Bar and Collin Johns in complete control.
Second time after a timeout or a side switch, which works as a timeout, where the third was missed by Johns and Bar. That's 3 opportunities.
One incredible save to the next. Push off, kitchen violation.
Unbelievable track down earlier in the rally there from Dekel. But unfortunately for him, tennis players, you rotate your hips and your left foot points towards your opponent, and that often puts you in the kitchen.
A little growl from McGuffin. I guess they call it more of a bark.
Yeah. Look out.
Tyson McGuffin might as well be a pit bull out there. Oh, no. That ball well into the air.
Man, that was exact point construction that McGuffin and Long wanted.
Some indecision by Tyson. I think that ball popped up enough, but he actually took 2 steps back.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he wasn't there, and it's, again, trusting where that ball from your partner's going to be, and they're new, so didn't quite buy into it, and opportunity lost.
Long now on the left.
And you see, immediately able to switch back to their technique from games 2 and 3. Ball on the ground in front of Brendon Long. They want to put him over there. There is a huge target. I know you can't see it at home, but I guarantee you it's there.
One side out. 9-5. Barr and Johns 2 away.
And that's where I'd love to see Dekel stay in that for a minute, be set, and then get one that's maybe a little more up. You've seen him miss over there, put that pressure on Brendon Long.
5-9-1.
He catches him.
Great job by Brendon Long there of hanging in there, and then a dink that traveled a little farther than CJ usually hits it, and he's ready.
Go, go, go.
Going head-to-head with Collin. Johns thought that could land.
Boy, and Barr was a human shield that CJ's trying to find the ball through him and hung in there with it. Boy, there was an opportunity for McGuffin and Long there.
Going straight at Johns again. This time, it goes in favor of Brendon Long.
Yeah, and they got on that other side just through a switch that wasn't intentional.
Oh, and Tyson McGuffin, one of the best from the baseline.
And look at Collin Johns calling timeout here on offense to go sit down and make sure they are set to try and finish this off. 5 games is a lot. You want to have everything ready. We'll see what they do when we come back.
My name. Just 2 points of separation in this best of 5 men's doubles final at the Selkirk Red Rock Open. The speed up from Dekel Barr into the top of the net. The timeout, the offensive timeout taken by Collin Johns, but yet they do not find a point yet. Collin Johns with a outrageous save behind him. And then the ball out of bounds.
He thinks Dekel's taking that for sure.
Championship point. Not so fast, the side out.
Dekel's expecting that ball to be on the ground from Collin Johns, and it travels too far. And Brendon Long, clutch, finds the open court and get the ball back.
Tyson back on the left. One to McGuffin and Long. Echoing through the Red Rocks right now. The fans for Tyson McGuffin.
Hey, 10-1.
The right time to get aggressive. McGuffin and Long.
And there was some absolute craziness off the net court in that. Collin Johns had to make a left-handed save, and it is Brendon Long having the nerves to pull the trigger there, and it's 9-10.
First serve. Catch him. Tyson McGuffin looking too much to the middle. Second serve. Still trailing by 1.
9-10-2.
The switch and the tie. Testing the flexibility of Tyson McGuffin. Must win by 2.
10-10-2.
The leave and land. They earn the ball back.
Clutch from Dekel Bar there as all the momentum was on the other side of the court, and he found the baseline.
One side out.
Yeah, and Collin and Dekel cannot get the ball on the ground. They're fine once they get to the kitchen, but they haven't been able to get there at crunch time here.
With the speed up and his own energy. But how about the ATP defense?
Unbelievable by McGuffin, and then it's the Cobra strike from Collin Johns, and they've got a second shot at a title.
Yes. Yeah, right here. 11-10-2.
He laid it up for Dekel Bar to come crashing in.
Oh my goodness.
This crowd is in awe right now. 2 championship points fended off.
10-11-1.
And the ball back to Long and McGuffin. Right shoulder spinning out of the way. French fries on the board.
pace of play has slowed here. Smartly, every rally so critical.
And all of a sudden, the tide has turned for Long and McGuffin.
And the paddle is down, and timeout has been called, and there will be a match point on the other side.
A match point, a championship point. Their first for Brendon Long and Tyson McGuffin. The VIP, the viewing deck, our grandstand. Everyone is getting ready. Tyson McGuffin looking for a title in Red Rock. Brendon Long with a shot at his very first title on the Carvana PPA Tour.
So here we go with where do we want to put the return if we're Dekel and Collin. And if I'm Brendon Long and Tyson McGuffin, it's if it comes to McGuffin, I'm hunting, and Brendon Long go try and finish this, and vice versa if they get a short return to Brendon Long. Go out with what got you here, which is that bringing the extra pace.
Time in. 12-11-1.
Brendon Long will serve championship point. A second shot and a second serve. Unwinding the stack are Barr and Johns.
Unbelievable. Dekel Barr on the first match point down, pulls the trigger on the first ball he sees, and then it's Collin John setting the table. This is epic.
11-12.
One of the best finals we have seen in 2023. The put away. Perfectly placed for Brendon Long. Championship point. 2 more shots at it for Long and McGuffin. Tyson will serve. 12-11.
12-11-2.
Another hold.
And McGuffin trying to do just a little too much to close it out there, gets out of position. And Barr and Johns get it back. They've saved 4. They've had 2 of their own.
Oh, that hung just on the top of the net. A slight breeze would have sent that. All right, Keanu. A little Matrix action. action from Tyson McGuffin.
Yeah, another early trigger pull from Barr doesn't work out. Number 5 here.
Over an hour and 40 minutes in this match. The swiping arm of Collin Johns. Paddle taps.
12-11-2.
Championship point. Out of bounds. McGuffin and Long find gold amongst the Red Rocks. The first title for Brendon Long. And Tyson McGuffin finds his first since 2021.
Just an epic match. The scoreboard shows it to go almost an hour and 45 minutes to fend off 2 match points against earlier, and then to have the shot that Brendon Long hit to set up the miss on their 6th try. What a match, and what deserving champions.
What a fun match that was for the men's pro doubles final. Tyson McGuffin and Brendon Long victorious. I told you, he may not need to make any more graphics, but I can tell you one graphic needs to be made, and that's him with a title next to his name. Standing courtside now with Cameron Blackwood.
Over an hour and 40 minutes. That match was right there. They had match point over there. Dekel misses the sitter. What are you telling Brendon here to win his first PPA title?
Are you not entertained? So I've been losing to BJ and CJ, it feels like, since I've been in diapers, if you know what I mean. Kind of a low-key fun fact, I haven't lost to CJ when he plays with somebody other than Ben. So I came to take what was ours.
There you have it. You guys took the first game 11-1. Looks like they were taking it, but you made that switch late in game 3. What were you liking on that?
Well, a couple of things happened. One, Dekel's kind of killed me on the cross-court dig pretty bad, so that's one reason. Another reason is on one of the overheads, my shoulder actually popped, and it started hurting pretty bad, and I couldn't hit it very hard after that. So that was one reason we decided to switch. I also kind of just like to prove to people that I can play on the right as well, because a lot of people don't believe that. So I thought that was a good move. And then in that 5th game there, they just kept dropping to Tyson's backhand. So we decided to switch it back when we were the one returning so that we could stop them from coming in.
And we loved your stickman graphic. Are you sticking with that? Looked like it proved well out here.
Yeah, you know, that kind of got me a lot of Instagram followers, and as you'll notice, I don't really have a sponsor here, and I kind of learned that being good at pickleball doesn't get you a sponsor. It's kind of about your brand and your Instagram there, so kind of want to ask a favor all the people here and all the people watching to go follow me on Instagram at Brendon H. Long, so that hopefully I can get a sponsor.
There you have it. We're going to get Rob Barnes out here with Selkirk, our title sponsor. We are Pickleball.
On behalf of Selkirk, want to congratulate you on winning the men's open doubles at the Selkirk Red Rock Open.
If you guys don't want to go anywhere, we're going to have women's doubles coming up right after this.